Hey there, all you aspiring screencasters. I've been getting a lot of requests from people to show how I webcam for screencasting, so I want to do that today. So I use a tool called OBS, Open Broadcaster Software. You can download it at obsproject.com, and once you get it running, you'll see something like this. So the main thing you need to know about OBS is it has this concept of scenes, which are like different layers where you can arrange background videos or different webcams. So let's start by creating a new scene, and we'll just call this one intro. Once you create a scene, you want to add sources to it. So sources can be a bunch of different things. First, we will add a media source, which means a video, and we'll grab a file from the local machine. I've got this video called Replicate Goo, which I collected from the replicate.com website by opening up the web inspector, deleting everything else on the page, and then using QuickTime to record a short segment of the animated goo on that page. So make sure to turn on loop when you add this so that it'll loop the video back to the beginning after it finishes. So I'll add this, and now I've got this animated background here. And you can see the dimensions are not exactly the same as the webcam, but that's okay. I'll just pull it to the edge. And then I hit start virtual camera over here, which means that when I run something like Zoom or Gather or Loom, the OBS camera will show up as one of my webcams that I can use. Excuse me. So now I've got that running. And then let's add my webcam. So I'll go back into the sources, and I want to add a video capture device. And it doesn't really matter what you name it. I'm going to pick this Brio webcam. Okay, so there I am on the screen. And you can see I've got a real green screen here in physical space. This one's called the Elgato. And it's like something like $120. It's collapsible, it goes down to the floor. And I think it's totally worth it. This video is not sponsored by Elgato. It's sponsored by Replicate. So, okay, key thing. You get the video added here, and then you hold down Option on Mac. I'm not sure what it is on other operating systems, but now I can crop the edge of the camera. So I'm only showing the green screen. Okay, so here I am on the screen, and now I'll go into like control click or right click on the device that I just added and go into filters and add an effect filter called chroma key. That's basically what that basically means, green screen. So there I am. You can see there's like a little bit of green around me. You can play around with that by tweaking the similarity option here. And that sort of varies depending on the time of day and the lighting in your environment. So sometimes I have to tweak this throughout the day. So I've got myself added here. Sometimes I don't love the color or the complexion of my skin in the video. So one thing that I'll often do is add another filter called color correction. And I'll just take the saturation all the way down to 0. So it's basically a grayscale image. Sometimes I'll crank up the contrast a little bit, turn down the gamma, try to make it sort of a high contrast image. Then I want the goo to sort of come through the lighter parts of my video feed here. So I, again, open up this context menu, go to blending mode, and set it to multiply. And now you can see the goo coming through. Pretty cool. Also, you can change the color of the goo by going into the filters on that source. And again, same way we apply the color correction filter on the webcam, we can apply it on the video as well. So now I can actually change the color of it by using this hue shift option. And so when you do that, you'll notice it kind of changes the artifacts that you're seeing on the webcam. So whenever you change the color, you kind of need to go back into your settings for your webcam and your chroma key and sort of tweak the values until it looks right again. And it's always kind of a trade-off. You can see here on the edge of the screen, there's like some gray showing there. Anyway, play with it. Okay, so we've got this. And then imagine you're making a YouTube video and you want to be like, Hey, welcome to my channel. Here's me, big and full screen, and now let's jump into screen share mode. So that's what you use different scenes for. So we'll create another scene. And in this scene, this one's going to be called screen share. And you can actually duplicate scenes. So we could go in here and duplicate the intro. But one thing that I've discovered is that if you do that, and then you modify something in one or the other of the two scenes, it actually changes the sources in the other scene as well. So it's not creating a clone of it. It's like a reference to the other one. So what I'm doing here instead is I'm just going to go ahead and create an entirely new scene and re-add the sources. So let's add the media source back in. We'll put the goo back in here. Okay, there's the goo. I'm going to leave it at those dimensions. And then I'm going to add my camera again. We'll set it to the Brio. You can also use your iPhone camera if you have continuity camera enabled on a more recent version of iOS. Beware, it's a little sketchy. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Your phone might just disconnect randomly. But it produces a much higher quality video output. So if it does work for you, it's worth a try. Okay, so I'm just going to go through those steps again. I'm holding down Option, cropping this thing, moving it over here, and let's go ahead and do the same thing again where we apply the chroma key filter to get this green screen effect. There it is. Okay, and then we will add another layer, and this one will be the macOS screen capture. And that actually lets us add the contents of the screen as a layer here. So, I think the reason it turned black is because the goo video ended and I didn't set it to loop. So now it's just a black screen, but we can fix that after we get this thing scaled down. Okay, so go back into media source and maybe we'll rename this so that we know what the heck's going on. We'll call this goo. And then I'll go into the properties for this, or maybe the properties. Okay, loop. So now when it ends, it'll start back over. And I have this cool thing where I can be like, hey, here's me sharing my screen. Oh, except look, I'm holding up my left hand and it's kind of pointing to the right side of the screen. So one of the ways you can get around that, there's probably other ways, but I just like the video to flip it. And so now when I kind of look to the left in real life, I'm kind of looking to the left on my screen and vice versa. So I can be like, hey, look at this screen that I'm sharing with you. And now we can kind of switch back and forth and be like, welcome to my channel. The goo is yellow. Let's dive in. And then I come over here and here's my screen. Also, you could add like and subscribe type buttons. So let's pretend we're going to do that. So like button. So we'll grab one of those from somewhere. Here's a YouTube like button. So we'll save this image, put it on the desktop, call it like, and we'll go back here. And this is where having two different screens comes in really handy. So usually you want to have OBS on your secondary screen while you're recording, and then whatever the viewer is seeing in your screencast is on your other screen. So we'll add an image here. And this could be a video too if you wanted it to be animated. So we're going to add this like button. Obviously it'd be better if this was transparent and animated and fancy and everything, but you get the idea. So now, like in the course of me giving this demo, I can be like, don't forget to like and subscribe. We get the idea. Okay, did I cover everything that I wanted to talk about? Yes. I hope this was useful. Only 10 minutes long, not too bad. Have fun screencasting. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.